We are live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Untitled Sports podcast, which will remain untitled because that's now the title, so it's technically not untitled.
I chose that. I chose to keep it untitled. It just
Yep,
sounds dope.
yep. So we can credit Marquise for that, copying off of Kendrick Lamar. Anywho, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about some sports, mainly basketball. If you were here last week, you know the drill. Um, Pretty much all basketball, mainly the NBA. We're gonna try not to talk
You
too
you
much
just said
about
all basketball, mainly the NBA.
yeah,
Oh, I guess
all basketball.
college
Yeah,
basketball. Okay.
college. We might get into some WNBA one day. Who
Yeah,
knows?
we did touch on the WNB last
We
episode.
did. We
We
did
did.
last.
We definitely
Yep.
did.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try not to talk about the Sixers too much this week.
Yeah. There's nothing to talk
Um,
about other than what we're going to talk
there's
about.
nothing to there's nothing to talk about. Yeah, other than what we've already talked about and what we'll probably continue to harp on, which is do not give James Harden the max.
Not at all.
Anywho, Monday, Lakers' new head coach Darvin Ham had his first press conference, and he said some interesting things. Two things stood out to me. Number one, when asked about the Russell Westbrook issue, he of course,
As a coach,
did the as a coach did the politically correct thing of saying Russell Westbrook's a superstar. I don't understand why people are saying that he can't play anymore.
he's called him a
I don't know
superstar.
why. I know superstar.
He's a
I
fucking
don't know why
superstar.
people are acting like he's washed up. He's a great player still. He's still a superstar player. Uh Obviously we all know why people say the things that they say about Russell Westbrook.
Hmm.
But he said that in the conversation that he had with Russ, the main thing that he kept saying, the main topic or main theme of the discussion was sacrifice. And he said that the main goal for Russell Westbrook is to get him back to being a monster defender and being engaged on the defensive end. Um, and having his offense kind of just flow from there. Now, here's the thing, right? For me, that makes sense. Is he going to do it?
I feel like he's in a situation where he has no choice. He has to prove
He,
himself. And I think somebody like
yeah,
Russell Westbrook, who's like a hard nosed basketball player who believes in everything he says, believes in himself to the fullest. He kind of like Jimmy Butler, where like he's not the superstar player, but he has that superstar willpower. And I think because of
yeah.
that, he will take the criticism, and I think he will definitely answer the call to the
I
best of
mean,
his ability. I'd say.
okay, I agree, but I, I agree, but the idea of having someone who's a former MVP and basically telling them that their game is going to focus on the defensive end now. Obviously, he said he talked to Russ, so I'm assuming their conversation went over well. We know LeBron
Because
loves Darvin
he was
Ham.
there. He was there in the press conference. He was standing there.
Yeah,
He was there.
so I'm assuming Russ is on board, but at the same time, we saw some of the frustration that Russ expressed last year when people, I think it was a reporter in like one of the post game press conferences or something like that, said, you're the point guard, and he was like, "Am I?" So it's like we've seen him have some frustration with his role and not having the ball in his hands quite as much. So the idea of coming to him and saying, "All right, well, we're going to focus on defense," it doesn't seem like something that he would be super excited about, as opposed to someone coming in and saying, "We're going to make you the focus. We're going to build around you. We're
Yeah.
going to have you run the offense the way you're used to doing."
Somebody like Russ, where he's never been anything less than the second option. With KD, he was the second option. With James Harden, he was the second option. With Bradley Beal, we forget that he was a part of the Washington Wizards for a year. He was the second option. He's
Yep.
he's in a place where he's the third option. Shit,
Yeah.
sometimes he might even be fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
Um, he's kind of in the same situation as. Oh God, I'm about to tie this to the Sixers. Here we go. When we signed Al Horford, where we
Yeah.
signed this guy to his big contract because of what he did previously and what he's done against our team, that we overlook the fit and we
Yeah.
just think the player can just do it anywhere. Lakers need shooting, and Westbrook has never been a good shooter. So
Yep.
it's just as simple as that. he's not in a great situation. They're not built properly. They have a lot of money tied in their top 3 stars. Um, and that goes into why I think they should move Anthony Davis.
Oh, okay. So that actually ties us into the part, which is another thing that he said, which was the offensive style. He said that he planned to implement a 4-out, 1-in offensive scheme.
Can I add this part? Can I add this part in there?
Yeah.
Darvin Ham, right? Darvin Ham.
Yes.
Dude got shot in the face.
Yeah.
That was one of the most cold-blooded fucking responses I've ever heard in my life as watching an NBA press conference. They asked him, of course, in context, they asked him how is he going to deal with being a first-time coach and actually, being in front of the Lakers franchise, which is so riddled with championships and championship aspirations. And he goes, bro, I've been shot in the face. I feel no pressure. And that's one of the coldest responses I've ever heard in my life. And I think somebody like him and who has added Rasheed Wallace to their thing definitely can give the Lakers franchise a change that they need. They need an identity.
Yeah, I don't doubt Darvin Ham's ability to coach, if that makes sense, or to get people to listen to him.
He sounds like a motivator.
Yeah. But the thing is, that also sounds like a Doc Rivers or you know what I mean? A type of coach where when he said 4 out, in my head, I was just like, how is that going to work?
Russell Westbrook is the one that's going to be in the middle.
I'm like, is Russ the one in? Because you can't have LeBron, Russell. I'm assuming Malik Monk, maybe.
Do you remember the Rockets lineups where he was the center?
Yeah,
they had lineups.
But look at who was around him.
Right, shooters, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon,
James Harden. Yeah, so it's like, Robert Covington, I think was there that year still. So
it's another one of their centers.
Yeah. So it's like there was some chance of that working in Houston. Right. And it kind of did for a little bit. But in LA, it's like your best shooter on the perimeter is Malik Monk?
Wayne
and you're going to start him now?
Sometimes. Yeah, who? Malik Monk. Wayne Ellington is also there, but he didn't have a good season.
Right, yeah. So it's like Malik Monk, LeBron, AD.
AD shot terrible. AD shot probably 16% from 3. He was terrible. Oh my god.
So it's like, so who's your one in? Because if it's
right,
so that was the first thing that kind of like
first team ever to play 5 in. 5 in.
I mean,
4 in, 1 out. Like that's what
4 in, 1 out, right? Because even then, it's like I don't understand how. Maybe the Lakers are planning to make some moves that I don't know about, or call some guys up. Maybe they're gonna bring what's his name? Is it Evan Ingram? I forget his name. The guy who's in the G League, the 40-year-old guy.
Oh, Andre Ingram.
Andre Ingram.
Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna bring him back up. He shot the lights out.
His 2 games in the NBA, man.
Right.
Undefeated.
And then we can officially call the Lakers the oldest team in NBA history.
For real.
So,
dude is not even that old, but he just got gray hair. Like he's fucking 50.
He's in his mid-30s, right?
Yeah.
About the same.
Early 30s.
Okay, so he's about the same age as Russ.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're either way, they're not a young team. And when Taylor and Horton Tucker is like one of your best young players, you're not in a good position.
And he didn't show up. And
exactly.
And when they won the championship, he was a big factor. But he kind of regressed. Maybe that's because Russell Westbrook is now there, and now he doesn't have the ball in his hands. And they run Russell Westbrook with the second unit, which he was in kind of some control of. He was like the main scorer off their bench with KCP and Kuzma. They had a little nice like trifecta going on there.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this. I can't shake it. AD has to leave. You have no other choice because you're not going to get nothing for Westbrook. Anthony Davis is your best asset. You're not going to trade LeBron because if you trade LeBron, you failed. You gotta.
But not only that, LeBron is always the person in control of LeBron's career is LeBron.
Yeah.
You can't just trade LeBron. I'm sure he has a no trade clause. You're gonna have to go to a certain team in order to get him to even lift his no trade clause. And even then, it's like, what are you gonna get from that team without decimating that team in the process? It's like with Kobe when Kobe wanted to go
to the Clippers
to Chicago. Chicago.
Okay.
And the Lakers wanted Luol Deng, and Kobe was like, well, if you bring Luol Deng here and along with who am I going to play with? Like along with all the other pieces that they were going to get in exchange for Kobe, it's like who's going to be there when I get there? So it's like, LeBron's not going to just you kind of can't trade LeBron because he's almost worth too much.
Yeah. What is LeBron? LeBron has never been traded in his career.
Right.
What is LeBron's value? Like, what is a 38-year-old superstar who seemed to defeat Father Time worth?
Not only that, but who's won championships and almost put teams together himself.
Yeah, Lee GM.
Like he's a coach, a GM, and a superstar player all in one. How much is that worth? Even at 38 years old, he's still one of the most valuable assets in the league.
Yeah,
even considering like KD, even considering somebody like KD or Steph or Kyrie, like LeBron's just as healthy seemingly as any of those guys.
Yeah.
So it's like you almost can't even make his age a part of it.
Shit, I would argue he's in better shape than most of those guys.
Maybe, probably.
Yeah. Spends $1 million on his body every year.
The only person who I can say comes close to LeBron in value is Steph.
Yeah.
That's it. Because Steph, I mean, his game is tailor-made for today's NBA.
Fits next to anybody.
Yeah, he's younger. He's still pretty much in his prime.
Yeah.
He's not super injury prone. Like
an easygoing guy. Everybody loves him.
Right.
Sells tickets. Sells jerseys.
He can play multiple ways with multiple. He can play with other stars. He can play as the main star.
Oh my God.
Right. So it's
one of the best movers off the ball.
So there's really not anybody. There's nothing you can get in return for LeBron that could warrant trading LeBron, unless you were to trade him to another team that had older stars but was just more healthy and the fit was better. And they literally traded all of their young players and draft picks to. The only way you trade LeBron is if you're going into a rebuild, like a complete rebuild.
What is something they probably will have to not do, but have to look into, because you don't have no picks for the future.
Exactly.
So you might have to go, all right, we won our championship. Let's see how this is next year and blow the shit up. Because going to the future, you're not going to have shit.
Yep.
You're not having nothing. So that's one of the disadvantages of LeBron. You have to trade out so much what he doesn't like, what fits him the most. And once again, I'm going to say it again, AD has to go, because even if they bring in players, it's going to be older players. It's going to be more older players who are trying to compete for a ring. And the one thing I would say, not even maybe the older players are going to stay away from the Lakers, because one thing LeBron always had to draw people is winning. Yeah. He always, if you're on the team with LeBron, you're going to the finals. That's something he always had. Now you see he didn't even make the playoffs. There's going to be people not interested. So you telling me I have to lessen my game and we're not going to make the playoffs?
Yep.
I gotta take parts of my game. I might have to come off the bench for the first time in my career, and there's a chance we're not going to make the playoffs. That is now the look on it for the older veterans.
Yeah. I mean, there's really only one option. If you were to trade LeBron, there's only one team that can give you what you want and give LeBron still ample chance at winning.
Who's that team?
The problem is it's the Warriors.
Oof.
But the problem is the Warriors are not doing that, because they're going to have to trade James Wiseman, Jordan Poole, Gary Payton,
and Draymond. Make money work. They got to make money work.
Draymond. Yep. Like, you're going to have to just give up too much. But the combination of Steph, Clay, and LeBron
replaces Draymond 1,000-fold.
Is pretty much guaranteed to win a championship.
I mean, because look at them right now.
But you just have to sacrifice your entire future if you're the Warriors. So
I don't think they're going to do that
then they wouldn't. But
at all.
that's the only trade that could be seen as a fair trade, because the Warriors have the young talent in the picks to give the Lakers. The Lakers have LeBron.
Mm.
It's the only fair trade. But the Warriors, being the smart team that they are, they're not going to do that. So then you're just left, like you said, with AD. But then it's like, who's the trade partner for AD? Who wants AD right now?
I feel like AD's value is still high because he's. I think my points are about
high.
my points are about to contradict themselves. It's still high because Anthony Davis's name and how old he is, but it also meets a cap because he's injured every year.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's definitely gonna be a lot of teams. Like,
and not only that, he's more or less proven that he can't carry a team by himself.
Yes.
Like when he was with the Pelicans,
he's gotten to a point where it's respectable, but he's never gotten over that hump until he had to play second fiddle to someone.
To LeBron,
LeBron, yeah.
And even when he had like a great team around him, pretty much with the Pelicans that one year when they had DeMarcus Cousins and and Rondo.
Rondo, yeah.
Like they lost in the second round to the Warriors, right? Or the Rockets.
Because Boogie had tore his ACL.
Yeah. So it's like
Rondo played actually good.
Rondo was playoff Rondo.
He was playing great.
He was playoff Rondo.
Holiday was locking people down.
But even on that team with AD as the best player, they couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't see teams jumping at the chance to trade for Anthony Davis, especially when we've seen that if you don't have Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic, you can't win anything with a big as your best player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and even those two haven't won anything yet. So it's
exactly.
Like,
but they've at least
small ball,
but they've at least shown that they can carry a team to not only the playoffs but like a high seed in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. By themselves. Both were placed in very compromising positions this year. Joel with Ben sitting out, and then Jokic with the two other stars being injured, and they both won 50 games. I think they both won 50 games. Or if the Nuggets didn't, they were right next to it. They showed that they can.
Like even with the Heat, like even if you look at the teams that are in the finals now, like Bam Adebayo isn't as good as Anthony Davis.
Nope. Robert Williams not neither. Al Horford might be because he's fucking on fire right now. I don't know what the hell snapped.
He is, but look at how much experience Al Horford has. He's I think him and LeBron right now amongst active players have like some of the most played playoff games in the league.
He's made the playoffs every year but one.
Yep.
And that was
I think it's like 168 playoff games or something like that.
15 years. He played the most NBA playoff games to not be in the finals until this year.
Yep.
That was Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
His homie.
So it's like, are you going to build around AD or are you going to put him on a team that has great guards? But then it's like, what are you going to give up in exchange for him?
I think I have a team that will definitely want Anthony Davis.
Chicago.
No.
Team
in the West has a dynamic guard.
West. Oh, Portland.
Yes, sir. I think they would.
But even then, it's like, what does Portland give up?
They have the 7th pick, which LA can trade for and then flip. They have a lot of
Anthony
Simons, who they are most likely are going to flip. They could make a little trade there. They could make a trade.
They could. But the thing is, nothing that's going to win the Lakers a championship.
It's nothing that's going to win Portland a championship neither. It just gives them a better shot. For the Lakers, it just frees up cap. And to the point where if DeAndre Ayton is going to go out there and become a max player, I think Anthony Davis is definitely his value still he still has value because if DeAndre Ayton is going to be a guy who's a max player, Anthony Davis, even with all the injuries, is still head and shoulders better than it. Is he? Damn.
Is he?
Damn, because DeAndre Ayton definitely did outplay him in that playoff series.
Right. See, that's the thing. Ooh. DeAndre Ayton, but at the same time, he was playing with Chris Paul. So it's like, Chris Paul is going to make you look great.
Point guard.
Yeah. Chris Paul's gonna make you look great.
Chris
So,
Paul made
but
DeAndre Jordan our first team All NBA player.
exactly.
Got that man paid.
Exactly. So, you know, you got to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. But at the same time, there is something to be said about playing a role. If you were to put Anthony Davis on the team with Chris Paul and Devin Booker,
you saw what he did with Rondo.
How many touches is he actually gonna get? Besides just lobs
and
or
do you
putbacks
really want
and
this
things
man
like that?
to jump? Like, it's kind of the same with Joel. Like, I don't want this man to leave the floor. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Unless it's literally to score.
Yeah, like literally. I don't want him.
He's not a shot blocker.
You know,
he's a good defensive. He's a really good defensive player.
Yes,
but that's
is,
mostly because of his length and his move, his
ability, yeah,
his physical abilities. Yeah. He's not like his timing isn't elite shot blocker level. Like his Rudy Gobert. Like Rudy Gobert is an elite shot blocker because of his size and his timing.
That's why they try to pull him to the perimeter, because I'd rather attack him than have to meet him at the rim.
Exactly. Whereas AD 1-on-1 can guard virtually anybody.
Yeah.
But as far as like picking up somebody who's driving to the paint and like timing it right, he's not that.
They won that bubble championship because they put Anthony Davis on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
And like we see things of Joel being able to do it. We don't want him to do it as much because we don't want him out there stressing himself, because he had a little stop on Victor Oladipo in the playoffs, where he got the little stop, kind of went and had the crowd going crazy. So but Anthony Davis definitely is the most. I don't know if I could say that, because his shooting is not the best. I was about to say he's one of the most complete power forwards in terms of the ability to do everything. But Tim Duncan,
possibly.
The only thing is I wouldn't trust Tim Duncan on the perimeter.
Possibly, much. I would say it would be at this point between AD and Giannis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Giannis does exist.
But the thing is, AD can handle the ball a lot better than Giannis.
And this is one of the knocks against.
And his shooting is better than Giannis's.
Barely. Shit.
Maybe. Barely, but noticeable.
Yeah. And this is the thing about AD that he gets crucified for, is that he should be in the conversations with the Giannis's, the Joel Embiid's, the Nikola Jokic, but it's like he backs down from the moment. It's okay. It's easy to go against a Bam Adebayo, right? For him, for somebody his caliber, and to do what he can do.
Right.
But when you go against somebody your size and that can move like you, and you constantly get outplayed. Like, even when he was at the Pelicans were a better team than us. In Joel's early years, Joel would kill Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis did not hold a candle to Joel's fire.
Yeah,
because like,
even with Sacramento with Boogie, like Boogie was kind of a same. Like, they would kind of cancel each other out, even though the Kings were technically a better team than us, but
technically.
Because, like, I guess they won a few more games, but at the same time, they weren't doing anything. And we were, like, really young. Our best player was in his first year. Mm-hmm. But still, Anthony Davis and Joel were going basically back and forth. Boogie and Joel, yeah.
Joel got the respect that day. He got the respect. Yeah. They had that little contest when they kept slapping each other on the ass. Yeah. I was like,
and Boogie was like, he's gonna be the best big in the league when I'm going. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna take that long.
Yeah, I mean, then I would go, okay, yeah, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, Boogie was the clear-cut best center in the league, even though he wasn't winning shit.
Right.
And it's crazy. I don't want to disrespect Sacramento Kings fans. But
I have a lot of respect for Sacramento Kings fans to be able to be loyal to the Kings. Still, after everything that's happened, I have nothing but respect for you.
The crazy
you're either just super loyal or you're delusional. Either way, I respect it.
The crazy thing is, we intentionally tried to lose and got to the playoffs before y'all. And I'm not trying to like send shots at the Kings organization.
Now, to be fair, you could give them a little wiggle room because they're in the West.
Yes.
And the West was very, very stacked at that point in time. Like, there were a lot of really good teams in the West.
I'm gonna tell the Kings their problem after you're done. After you done talking, I'm gonna tell the Kings their problem.
Go ahead.
Kings, hey, stop fucking drafting players at positions that you already fucking have. There's no point that you draft De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, and fucking Davion Mitchell, and then you draft DeMarcus Cousins, and the next year you fucking draft Willie Cauley-Stein. There's no fucking point in drafting. You had an all-star at the position. De'Aaron Fox on any other team probably will make an all-star team. You keep drafting players at that position, and then you trade Tyrese Halliburton when you're supposed to fucking trade De'Aaron Fox because he was older and he did not want to fucking be there. He made it clear that he did not want to fucking be there. He hated being there, and you traded the one person that wanted to fucking be there. He wanted to be the person that changed the Kings organization, and you traded him. I know Kings fans are hurt. The fucking NBA world was shocked when Tyrese Halliburton got traded because, I mean, he's so young. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He didn't even get the chance to reach his prime yet. But he just seems like the for sure thing, even going to the draft. If everybody were to fail and everybody were to be bust, he was going to be the one thing that was for certain. Trading him was stupid, and your franchise will forever regret that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hate the trade.
I did.
I didn't hate the trade. I did think it was stupid, but I do understand that they weren't gonna. Sabonis. They probably weren't gonna be able to get Sabonis for De'Aaron Fox. But at the same time, you could have just gotten Miles Turner, and that would have been fine. Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton, as we are already seeing, have turned out to be a better duo than De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis.
It's the simple fact they made that trade, and Sacramento Kings only had 2 more wings than the Pacers.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to come down on Sacramento fans. I'm not trying to make y'all feel bad about yourselves, but it's a constant thing here, where you constantly draft players at the same position, and you take
and then
players,
trade the good one.
Yeah, and then trade the good one,
The fact that they had DeMarcus Cousins and Isaiah Thomas on the team at the same time, they drafted them.
Hassan Whiteside was also on that team.
Yeah.
He wasn't shit, but he was on that team.
Yeah.
Rudy Gay was on there.
Yep.
They had a couple good players. They had a couple good teams that injuries affected that is playing it. But you guys
still, if they're depending on the age, you don't even care about injuries. Like, look at what happened with Steph and the Warriors. They had Monte Ellis, and Steph was getting hurt. Like, he had ankle injuries. But still, they were like, "Yeah, we're trading Monte. We're not trading Steph."
That's what you do. You trade
because he's young. We don't care that he's having these injury issues because he's younger. He has more time to actually get healthy.
Yes. This is what you do. This is how Buddy Hield ended up on the Kings, because they traded DeMarcus Cousins, for Buddy Hield and like a first round pick or some shit like that they most likely used for fucking Willie Cauley-Stein. The franchise needs an overhaul. I don't know where you're hiring these guys from, but they're all terrible. I don't know.
Wasn't there GM Vladi for a long ass time?
Vladi, I know he's the basketball operations. I think he oversees the basketball operation. Same difference.
Like,
but
why?
Listen, let me get in there, King fans.
There have not been very many good ex-player GMs.
Not at all.
There simply haven't. Danny Ainge and Jerry West might be the and no, because Pat didn't play. Did Pat play? Did Pat Riley play?
I don't think. Maybe.
There really haven't been many good ones. Danny Ainge,
Phil Jackson. He wasn't good. He wasn't a good executive though. He was a good coach, but he was a great coach, but he wasn't a good executive. Phil Jackson.
Right. Yeah. No, he was not a good executive. Danny Ainge and Jerry West are probably the only two.
Elton Brand did a good job until you fucking signed Tobias and Al Horford.
Exactly.
Did a good job.
Elton Brand, it was a year. It was literally a year.
It was like, oh my God, fuck. And then that's how it was.
Yep. That was literally, because it was like, when he made the Jimmy Butler trade, it's like, oh, Elton's the guy.
I was like, executive of the year.
Then he made the Tobias trade, and I was like, oh my God, Elton's amazing.
Willing to do it, not scared.
In the very next year, JJ and Jimmy are gone, and we signed Al Horford. And in exchange for Jimmy Butler, we get Josh Richardson. I was like,
who has been on 3 fucking teams this week?
I was like, Elton needs to go. Elton needs to go.
He's played
right
for
now.
The Sixers, Josh Richardson, Sixers, Boston, Mavericks, Spurs, 4 fucking teams in the
Yep.
last 3 years.
Yep.
Seth Curry was a great trade. That was Daryl Morey though, but
Exactly. That wasn't Daryl.
kind of miss
So
Seth.
speaking of moving around some higher ups, Quinn Snyder resigned.
Yeah, step
And first of all, where the fuck have I been living? I don't know if I've been under a rock or whatever. I did not realize Danny Ainge worked for the Jazz now.
Yes,
I
him.
was not paying attention. I'm sure it happened when Brad moved up, but I didn't. It never occurred to me that Danny Ainge went somewhere else. I thought he retired.
And it's so crazy that you say Brad's name, because Brad Stevenson is one of the names that have been mentioned to take the Utah Jazz coaching job.
Why? Why would he do that?
Right, because Danny Ainge loves fucking Brad Stevenson. Fucking loves him.
No, but why would Brad do it? Brad's
I don't know.
Brad's about to win Executive of the Year.
He's doing a fucking great job.
Why would Brad do that?
He's done a great job.
He's already made great draft decisions, great trades, hired a great coach.
I wouldn't say he made great draft decisions, but he's done okay.
I would say
he's done better than us.
I would say Peyton Pritchard was a pretty good decision.
They got some couple duds on there, like they had Romeo Langford.
Sure. But wasn't that Danny?
Oh, maybe yeah. You're right. Aaron Naismith.
Brad's only been an exec for a year.
This is his first year. I take it back. I take it back, Brad. You're doing a great job.
And getting Derek White like that, I think Brad's done a pretty good job. And then they're in the finals, so it's like I don't see why Brad would do that. I don't see why Brad would want to leave Boston at all.
It's rumored more so because he wants him. It's kind of like when Daryl Morey, like kind of like now, where even though Doc has been kind of semi-confirmed to be back next year, Mike D'Antoni's name was being mentioned because that's his guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't want D'Antoni.
And Dwyane Wade is over there as well.
Yeah. He's an owner, right?
He's he has some percentage into the Utah Jazz, and that's and I heard that there was rumors that the Utah Jazz don't want him to be there no more because Donovan Mitchell is linked to the Miami Heat, and who's Donovan Mitchell go-to guy now?
Yeah,
Dwyane Wade, and it'll be kind of crazy if Dwyane Wade is still recruiting for the Heat while fucking working for a whole other team.
Or he's just that much in love with Heat players.
Yeah.
Like he's just that much in love with
the coach,
Bam and Tyler and like those guys. Maybe he just wants to bring some Heat culture to the Jazz. Cuz I don't see how that benefits Dwyane to just move your star player to your old team. Unless he thinks that they can get more value out of those Heat guys than Donovan Mitchell.
So if they do a trade, it's most likely going to be Tyler, even though I thought more so Bam. But then again, you would lose your defensive anchor. Tyler doesn't play defense. Donovan doesn't play defense. Jimmy Butler will have to shoulder the load, and Jimmy Butler has showed when he has to be the main guy, he can step up, but there's only so much he can do. He's going to get tired. He loses his legs, like even in a Sixers series.
Because he's a two-way player.
Yeah.
Like he's going to burn out a lot faster than a guy like, Jason Tatum or even KD because he's literally carrying the offense and going on the other end and guarding their best perimeter player.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't have him doing that and still expect him to be the guy who's just going to go off and take over the game at the end of the game when he's already played the entire game and had like the toughest defensive assignments.
And for 2 back-to-back games to close out that series, he played 48 minutes in both games.
Yeah. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't. You're right. I don't see them moving Bam unless they get a center in return.
Mm-hmm. And they don't have money to sign one, so it will have to be.
But
no, not Joel. Not Joel.
No,
never Joel.
I don't want to. I didn't
never
say
Joel.
Never
Joel.
I didn't say anything about
never
Joel. But if they were to trade Bam and Tyler and picks, it would be for a Joel. It wouldn't be for Donovan Mitchell.
If you do this trade, you lose your chance at Joel. Like Joel could want to be there, but the trade package gets shitty.
What do you mean?
If they move on from Tyler Hero and they trade Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, pick swaps, stuff like that. If they tie that to Donovan Mitchell, then they're kind of out of it for Joel because now you don't have no picks to trade. You don't have as much assets to trade unless you would then flip Donovan Mitchell, but that wouldn't make sense. So
they would have to offer if they would have to try and offer like Bam and Victor Oladipo.
This whole thing, Victor Oladipo is a free agent this year.
It would have to be probably like a sign and trade.
But Joel doesn't want out, so let's not talk about that.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Let's not talk about that.
This isn't even a hypothetical situation. It's just a fairy tale.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not gonna happen. Hopefully it remains a fucking fairy tale. Oh, God.
Anwar, if you're watching this, it's not fucking happening.
It's not fucking.
I will drive down to the airport and pop holes in the tires on the plane myself so it can't take off. I don't care what I have to do.
Yeah, like I said, if this hypothetical did happen, I would support Joel 110%. I said that. I told Anwar that I would support Joel.
Yeah.
It's like I would want to see him succeed, but I will also stay in touch with the Sixers. I think I would kind of be disconnected because I've done my job. I feel as a Sixer fan for the losing. I've done my job. For what 5 fucking years.
Yeah, it would be tough. It would be tough because, you know, we went through all of that, and the promise was a championship. But at the same time, the people who promised us a championship aren't even here anymore.
Right.
So it's like now we have a new GM, we have a new coach, we have new damn near everything. We can't expect them to say like, well, we started this process, we have to finish it. We gotta take these guys that we got and get the most out of them. So it's like they have to look to the future. So it's like I would hate to start a whole nother fucking process. I would hope that if we were to trade Joel, we could get great like young players who are already good, as opposed to just picks like we did last time.
I would want something similar to like we talked about last episode, the Paul Pierce KG situation where we trade our best player, but we still are competing.
Good. We're still good. Yeah.
I would want something like that rather than starting over. I can't take it. I listen. I couldn't do it again.
I would want to do something sort of like New Orleans. Honestly, where New Orleans got
the mix.
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, the mix.
Yeah, they got the mix of good young players and picks.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like Philly is not always the attractive market, but the players that have played here love it here. It's one of those things where like you look at inside out. Oh my God!
The competitive players.
Yeah, the competitive.
The strong-willed players. JJ Redick liked it.
Ben Simmons.
JJ Redick liked it. Joel likes it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
light skin.
Markel liked it.
He loved it. Light skin.
Ben Simmons, not so much. Robert Covington, not so much. You know,
Robert Covington. Did you hear what he said after?
The Ben thing.
Yeah, how he was like he is expected. With them, and it's like Robert Covington. Hey,
we made you.
You're right, like bro. We
fucking made you.
We gave
like,
you the opportunity, bro. Like, you weren't shit, bro. You weren't
don't
shit.
Forget, Houston did not want they didn't value you.
They waived your ass.
The reason you have the contract you have is because
we gave that to you
because of the 76ers.
We gave you the opportunity. Never forget that. Never forget where you came from. Yeah. You never forget because when we're your fucking last option, motherfuckers are like, hey, remember what you said? And
especially knowing he would fit great on this team.
Right, he would. But
at the 3 next to Tobias and Tyrese and like he would be great. He would be a great 3-and-D player. But you know,
I don't think you could come back from that. Like that Ben Simmons situation. Like, I think we can more so forget about Robert Covington saying that than Ben Simmons saying some shit like that.
I think most people don't even know Robert said that.
Yeah. You got to be in tune. You got to be very in tune with the Sixers, which we are, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I wonder.
But Ben's was very public.
Very.
And it was like, and it was different. Like Robert Covington said some shit. Ben literally did not show up for work. Like you notice a person not being there more than you notice somebody saying something.
Yeah.
little,
Yeah, because
unappreciative or whatever.
didn't one of the players on the Phillies say like he fucking hated it here?
Yeah.
He said it fucking. He mouthed it. He mouthed it because they was
Yeah.
booing him, and then he like immediately apologized because PR made him apologize. You could definitely tell when something is a PR statement versus somebody naturally doing it. Like Ben had to apologize a couple times because he was like, I remember he said something like when we were losing, he was like, yeah, if you're on that side, stay on that side or something like that. And then he immediately had to make a post, Philly, I love it here, or something like that. It's like
my thing is, and this is a message to all people who don't understand Philly fans. We are like a family. And what I mean by that is we care. We wouldn't boo you
a lot
if we didn't care.
Right.
Like JJ said, we're engaged. We actually give a fuck.
Right.
It's like if you go to school and you get in a fight and you get in trouble and you get home and your mom yells at you, you think she's doing that because she doesn't care?
Right. She wants
or because she wants you to do better.
Yeah,
like,
she wants you to be.
It's not that she doesn't love you or she hates you or she wants you to get out and leave. Like she literally wants you to do better. And every other option of just telling you to do better hasn't worked. Every other option of like having like literally asking Ben to just shoot the ball more hadn't worked. So when you pass up a wide open dunk, it's like we're gonna boo. At this point, you gotta get yelled at.
Like you gotta get yelled at.
There's nothing else.
Yes, you gotta get loud. You gotta get yelled at. You deserve this.
Yeah, it's like a kid. Like if a kid keeps doing the same, if you already asked them to stop and they did it again, it's like what else do you have to do? You take something away or you yell at. Yeah,
you gotta get aggressive.
Right.
They have to remember that. They have to remember that.
Exactly. It's like clearly you're not getting the message.
And to what you said. Drew Holiday also said this in an interview maybe a year ago. I was watching an interview. He was like, Philly cares to the point he went to a Target and one of the security guards was like, I'm surprised you even showing your face here. I'm surprised you even showing your face here after that sorry ass game or something like that. Where we care, like Philly, you got to understand, Philly, we're
not going to jump you.
We're not going to jump you. Like,
I'm going to attack you in the streets.
I like you,
but we might yell some shit at you.
Yeah.
Like get it together, nigga.
Like Philly is one of the places where we love our sports. Like we love this shit. We live it. Like we talk about sports like we're on a team.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like we on the team. Like we on the bench. Like we one of the coaches.
You can even. Philly's one of the few places where athletes can literally just walk around.
Yes. And we'll leave you the fuck alone.
Yeah, we'll leave. We might yell some shit at you, positive or negative, whatever. Right. Joel got into a fight at the Eagles game. Niggas jumped in to help Joel.
You're right.
Random strangers was like, "Ayo, like fuck is you doing?"
I remember
like,
that
Joel Embiid, nigga.
They was like, throwing the football around. They was throwing the football around, and
somebody like tackled him or like got it too aggressive and like niggas,
motherfuckers about to fuck him up. Remember when Mike Scott got into the fight with fucking Philly fans and people like, bro, that's
for wearing a Redskins jersey, and it's like,
bro, motherfuckers breaking
like
up.
You can yell shit at him, but you can't fight him. Like, come on, bro, like we need him.
And we need him. We really do. We need him.
He's still on our team.
And to the part you brought up with Markel, it was bad things that came out about Philly about that Markel situation, how we weren't supportive, and Markel came out himself was like, that's a fucking lie.
Yeah, like they were very supportive.
Standing ovations, the fucking folks.
When he checked into the game,
like even when he
making
comes
a shot
now,
and like people like standing ovations.
Even when he comes back now, when fucking Dario comes back, when TJ comes back, when when Robert Covington comes back, you know, like,
Jeremy
comes back. Rashawn Holmes comes back. We give them that love because they were here. We remember Philly is a place where if we sign a fucking two-way player, we know about it. 15th man, we know about it. Like
Markel got literally the same treatment as Ben.
Yes. When Ben hit
literally
that 3
the same treatment
against the fucking Shanghai Sharks.
The only difference is Markel appreciated it and Ben thought it was annoying.
Remember when Markel got that triple-double at the end of the fucking year and the fucking crowd went insane?
Bro, Joel was trying to put his hand up like he won a championship.
Right.
Like he just won the heavyweight title or something. And he was like, all right, cool boy, y'all. Like he was smiling though. He was having a good time. And it's just like,
unlike Ben, remember Ben?
Like Ben, you don't want that,
right? You don't want
like you don't want that every time.
When he hit his first 3, Joel literally came over there and fucking was trying to hug this man. He was just like, Like, bro,
Yeah, like what are y'all doing?
like what you doing, motherfucker? You don't shoot. Like you don't shoot.
It's called being happy for you.
Right.
We're happy for you, Ben.
Like I like. Do people like fuck you up when you do something good? Like, it's like, are you
Yeah.
used to like people who get like nonchalant? And I understand it from the standpoint. It's like I'm an NBA player, but when you're an NBA player that fucking refuses to do it, it is different. Like when Boban was hitting threes, we went fucking crazy because Boban doesn't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when fucking Amir Johnson would hit a three,
it got to the point
like,
where it was like. It got to the point where it was like he shot a bad three, and we were like, whoa, now,
right?
Because at first they were just leaving him open, and he would knock him down. We were like, hell yeah, like the whole stadium going crazy. But then he like shot a contested three, and it was like an in and out, and we were just like, we didn't boo him, but it was just like,
it's like that was. I understand you're trying, but that was stupid fucking shot. That was a stupid fucking shot.
Don't do that again.
And he
like,
only made 4 in his career.
Right.
4 a career. He has a lot of attempts, but a lot of those are like half court shots.
Yeah, late. Same as Ben.
I was talking about Ben.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Boban.
No. Boban has more fucking threes than Ben.
I believe that.
Probably double. Because Boban hit his first 3 as a Sixer.
Yep.
He had his first 3, and then he hit another one that game. Boban not scared to shoot that shit. I'll tell you that right now. Mid range,
not at all.
Bro. He was killing Toronto with the fucking mid range.
Yep.
And I was like, why don't we play him more?
The only problem with Boban was that he wasn't a good defender.
Mm-hmm.
For the same thing that we were talking about with Anthony Davis is a timing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's like Boban doesn't have to fucking jump when he dunks. It's like, bro, just put your hands up. Just do that. Just
somebody like that, you would think like you should be blocking everything, but it's timing.
And
like there's a art to blocking shots and playing defense. Like I'm not gonna lie, there definitely is. But I still think Rudy Gobert is overrated. But
overpaid.
But yes, but
too much.
There is definitely a level of skill to what he does, and the fact that he's been doing it at the level that he has for as long as he has, it makes sense why he's regarded as one of the best defensive players in the league. But still, that's the only reason why. Whereas with Boban, that's the only reason why he's not a starting center.
Like Boban, for somebody who's 7'5", a legit 7'5", makes Joel looks like a fucking small forward.
Mm-hmm.
He moves extremely well. And there's somebody Victor Win something that's supposed to be drafted next year. 7'3".
Taller, yeah.
7'3", moves like a fucking guard. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And the fact that all the East teams fucking suck, we're going to have to deal with this motherfucker for the next 15 years.
Wait till Bobo gets back.
Bobo's a free agent, Holler at Bobo, The Lakers are interested in Bobo.
I think we should sign him.
I think
we should sign him because I think he'd be a great addition to the bench, and it's poetic. His dad played here, so it's like
he also could go to the Warriors.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I feel like Bobo would fucking become a fucking elite. Like
everything.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
He would be he'd be like another KD, but just not as good as KD, not as good of a ball handler, but like a 7-foot wing.
I feel like Bobo in the right situation. Once again, last episode I said Jahlil Okafor would still be in the league if he was drafted to the right situation. I think Bobo would be one of the premier young players if he was drafted to a team that was actually going to play him. Obviously, he didn't get to play in Orlando when he got traded because of the injury. But like a team like that, Bobo is fucking terrifying because he gets to play, like actually gets time.
Yeah. And he's what they need.
Yeah.
Size.
I'm trying to
besides Robert Williams and Al Horford, the Celtics have no size. So I assume they bring him back.
But the Celtics? No. They canceled that trade, remember?
Oh, right, it's physical.
Yeah, it's physical.
That's right.
And they traded him to Orlando with RJ.
Yep, it's physical.
RJ and RJ Hampton.
Oh, well then never mind. I would say we
signed with the Magic.
It depends. It would depend because it would depend on what they do with Jonathan Isaac. Because they're kind of the same player.
NBA player, bro.
And they're kind of the same player. Let's be honest. They're
Bobo's
kind of
better.
the same player.
Bobo's a
Bobo's
better
probably
player because he can play.
Bobo's probably better, and he's a little bit longer. But Jonathan Isaac's a better defender.
Yes, but
But they're
Jonathan
both like
Isaac hasn't seen the fucking floor. Bobo hasn't seen the floor because of where
Playing
he's
time.
played. Yeah,
yeah.
and then Jonathan Isaac
And
hasn't
now
seen the floor because his fucking knee doesn't exist.
Yeah, but when he does play, he's pretty crucial
Ooh.
to what they do.
So, I just normally like look up rumors, Sixers rumors, basketball rumors, and it says that we're interested in signing Steph Curry's brother-in-law, Damian Lee. I like Damian Lee. He's a good rebounder. He helps rebound.
Yeah, I like Damian Lee. For me, it shooters, players to come off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's really it. And a backup center. That's really all we need.
So
like I know a backup point guard, a backup center, and shooters.
Shooters, defenders that could double as defenders. Like I will take lesser
even
shooters.
just one good defender.
So
because you need one good defender who can be on the floor when Matisse is not on the floor.
Okay.
Like one good 3-and-D player. Other than that, you just need, like I said, backups and shooters.
So I'm looking at this article where it says the top 5 landing places for Tobias Harris. One is Oklahoma City, and their thing is their salary dump.
Yeah, salary dump.
The other is
but we don't have. But I don't know if we have the picks to offer.
But this whole thing is just a salary dump. It's literally just a salary dump. It's not
but
like
But remember, OKC is only taking on those contracts if they're getting the picks in return.
I mean, they took on Al Horford contract for seconds, and Kimba. No. They took it on for seconds. When
you're talking about no,
it was Al Horford. It was Al Horford.
I know, but it wasn't just seconds. I thought there was a future first in there too.
No.
Okay.
It was 3 second rounds.
But didn't
2.5.
Well,
yes.
yeah.
The next team is the Indiana Pacers. I'm trying to see what the. Yeah, I mean, Indiana Pacers. You got Buddy Hield. You got the Malcolm Brogdons. I don't know if they could get that straight up for. Maybe.
Tyrese.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad team. That would be a pretty good team. But the money thing, I don't know if that works out right.
I'm thinking because it doesn't give you they're just giving you trade destinations. They're not giving you trades. So I'm trying to put one together in my head. Maybe Tobias Matisse for Malcolm Brogdon and Buddy Hield. Which is players that we could use. But Malcolm Brogdon.
Then we have a hole in our starting lineup
at the 4.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I'm not willing to. At this point. I'm honestly not willing to trade any of our starters unless we're getting a starter in return.
I think in that we are getting a starter in return. We're getting a better version of Danny Green, a better playmaking Danny Green, a better defender.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, but
Malcolm Brogdon. People forget he was all defensive fucking.
But here's the issue: we're already down one starter because Danny's injured. So it's like we trade Tobias, Malcolm Brogdon replaces Danny, but then who replaces Tobias? George?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Next trade destination.
Now here's the thing though. That would, I assume,
it will
free up some money. But then it's like who's available for us to sign, who can
I don't think
Tobias gives you.
I think we would be taking actually more money back, but it will be more players that fit what we want. Because Buddy gets paid 20.
Yeah, and Malcolm gets paid
20,
like
25.
20. Yeah.
So that's $40 million for 37.
45.
Plus Matisse.
Yeah.
$2 million I think he makes because he was drafted lower. So
Matisse has a
team option.
Yeah.
Which they're most likely going to pick up because he's an asset. Yeah. Next, the Houston Rockets. I think that would be another salary dump situation.
Okay.
I think that would
let's say we're not taking John Wall, are we?
No, God, no. God,
Right.
no. Dude, we just have
But
the
you're right.
fucking...
You said it's not trades; it's just trade options.
Yeah, they're
Trade
just telling me
destination.
trade destination.
I don't see why Houston would do that. If you have John Wall and you're already doing the same thing with John Wall, you're not letting him play because you want to move his contract.
There's rumor is rumored that they could trade. But obviously we don't know what the Lakers' situation is. That they would trade John Wall for Russ. I don't know.
But it's this. But that's the same thing. It's literally the same thing.
Ooh. I'm about to go off of this because like I want to see what they have in return. It's like hard to think about all the odds and ends. There's another one. There's another trade as a 4-team trade for Matisse Thybulle. All right, this is the trade. I actually saw this previously and I liked it.
Okay.
I really liked it. The Denver Nuggets received Matisse Thybulle. The Philadelphia Sixers received Zeke Naji, Kenrich Williams, which would replace Matisse Thybulle. And he could shoot. He's a better shooter than Matisse Thybulle. Not great, but better than Matisse Thybulle. And the number 30th pick, Chicago Bulls received Furkan, which they would take into Daniel Theis. They have a Daniel Theis trade exception.
Yeah.
2023 second-round pick via the Philadelphia 76ers. And a 2026 second-round pick via OKC. And OKC would get the 21st pick. It doesn't tell me who has the 21st pick, but I'm guessing it's Chicago or Denver. It's one of the two. That right there, Zeke Naji. I don't know if you watch. I don't know if you watch Zeke Naji, but Zeke Naji is a floor spacing 5. Who has some defensive potential. I think he's like 23-ish. He's young. We would have a log jam at center. But it's most likely whoever can give Joel the help that game. He's 21.
Yeah. He's
21 years old. I'm older than him. Oh, shit. He was born in 2001.
That's about to start happening.
Yeah, that's fucking
Get ready.
Wild. That's wild.
I remember that. I remember the first year I watched the draft and I was older than the people getting drafted by like a year and a half, 2 years.
I'm older.
I was like,
I'm older than LaMelo. I'm older than LaMelo. Yeah, all these guys.
It's weird, doesn't it? It makes you feel really bad about your life.
Yes, because they're millionaires and I'm here recording a podcast
like,
in my mom's house.
Career and millions of dollars and health insurance, and I'm just
right. And pensions, retirement,
collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah,
my collective bargaining agreement is: do I pay the electric bill or do I get groceries?
Right.
That's my collective
Am I going to be hungry tonight, or am I just not going to have electricity? They made a Donovan Mitchell trade, and I'm scared to look at this shit. I am so scared because I think
probably Miami or New York.
No, they made it for us.
Oh,
it's from the Utah Jazz Tribune. So this is like legit from the Utah Jazz side of things.
They probably, I feel like they were gonna probably ask for too much, like Tyrese and Matisse and picks.
I'm trying to read. Why don't I just say they received this? They received this. I hate fucking reading. Okay, a mock trade by the Salt Lake Tribune in Utah has the Sixers acquiring Mitchell and Royce O'Neal from the Jazz for Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey. You lost me.
No.
You lost
me. Already lost. See,
you lost me.
I knew it.
Matisse
I was like, they're not.
A 2024 first round pick and a 2026 second round pick. I would trade Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, 2 first round picks, and a cheesesteak. And if you don't want that shit, suck a dick.
I wouldn't even do that. I'll give you Tyrese.
Ooh, I'm not giving
because the only reason why is because Donovan Mitchell pretty much replaces him.
I would.
Tyrese has more potential, but if we're talking about winning right now, I would go with the guy who's already averaging 24 points.
And then he plays way better in the playoffs. Obviously not this playoffs, but like you felt like he wasn't playing for shit. Like he was going through the motions. Right,
and he's on the same timeline as Joel. He's not So the Donovan pretty much replaces Tyrese. I would rather trade Tyrese. Plus, on top of that, it's like, are you gonna move Tyrese to the bench now after that year he just had? Like, that's not fair.
It's not fair. But Tyrese Maxey always strikes me as a person to whatever the team needs, I'll do. Obviously,
That's true.
he's the best player in this trade going back to Utah in terms
That's
of
true.
who they would keep.
That I agree, but at the same time, you look at what happened with Harden in OKC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
If Tyrese continues to improve as a backup, and it gets to the point where 2 years from now he's a free agent and he wants the money that he probably deserves, and we can't give it to him because we have Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and Joel Embiid on the team, it's like we're probably going to end up having to trade him anyway.
Okay, I understand that. But I mean, also that James Harden situation, they could have kept James Harden if they traded Serge Ibaka, but we're not going to.
They would have had to. They would have had to go into the luxury tax, and they didn't want to.
Yeah,
all they had
to do was trade Serge Ibaka.
They would. Yeah, they didn't want to do that either. Because
at
the time he was their best big.
Mm-hmm. They had fucking Kendrick
Perkins. He was one of their only bigs. Yeah,
they had Kendrick Perkins.
Right.
Who was an enforcer. He was an enforcer. That was what he got paid to do. He was an enforcer.
So I would trade Tyrese Maxey, Danny Green, Furkan, and as many first round picks as we can give them.
I would trade.
All right, I'm not giving up Matisse or Tobias.
I would
because
trade.
If we trade Tobias, we have no power forward.
I would
trade. If we trade Matisse, we have no defense.
Hear me out.
On the perimeter.
I would trade. In a situation like that, you would have to trade Tyrese. I understand. Tyrese, Tobias, Danny's contract. Hear me out. Danny's contract. Furkan for Donovan Mitchell and Bogdanovich. Because now you replace it, and Bogdanovich is a better defender than Tobias, and he's a catch and shoot type dude.
That's true.
And he makes significantly less.
That would enable you to have a power forward who doesn't need to be able to shoot.
Like
because you have three.
Yeah,
right. You have three shooters on the. You have Donovan, James, and Bogdanovich on the perimeter already. Joel can knock down threes. We obviously don't want him out there too much, but you can just have a power forward who can just stick in the dunker spot and have him catch lobs and be a defender. So yeah, that would work.
I'm not throwing lobs to Bogdanovich.
Yeah, no. You need honestly, Paul Reed might work at that position, but he's like we said last week, he's too aggressive. Well, he wouldn't have to in that situation. He would be literally the only non-shooter. You would just stick him in the dunker spot, like what they do with Matisse when he's on the floor with Joel.
I think we're so past that situation where we have to play someone in the dunker spots because of their inability to shoot. I think we're at a place where we want everybody to be able to at least be respectable. So Joel at least has more time. He's going to get doubled regardless, no matter who's the shooters are. Like we can have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Joel's still going to get fucking doubled. Because Joel, Steph will miss a three. Joel is going to fucking make a layup. So it is going to happen.
And even if he misses the layup, he'll get the rebound and put it back up.
Right. So he's going to get double regardless. I think something more like that helps you. Obviously, Bogdanovich is older than Tobias. I think he's 34, 33-ish, 33-ish around there. Tobias is not 30 yet.
Yeah.
Also, still seems like he's in the prime of his career. I think what I really respect about Tobias is that even though he seems like he takes step back, probably because people look more to his contract versus what he actually did. Because in the playoffs, he was the steady hand.
Yeah.
He very much was the steady hand. He played absolutely how we want him to play. It's just Doc Rivers' fault that he left Joel Embiid in the game where we were up 30. So, yeah. Literally. Because he was terrified.
Yeah. So we went over when we were talking about the Jazz and like what they should do and possibly a rebuild. We talked about it a little bit with the Lakers as well when we were mentioning picks, right? Possibly moving picks, flipping players, flipping picks. Since we're on that topic, let's talk a little bit about the draft. So I know you had went and scouted some players, some potential fits who can come in and come in for the Sixers in that 23rd pick, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what did you find when you were out there scouting?
All right. Well, first and foremost, if you listen to the last podcast, you know I'm super extremely high on EJ Liddell.
Yeah.
6'7", 6'7" with a 6'11" wingspan. He's a junior. He's not young, but he fits what we need. Very versatile. Can move his feet. He's very good defensively. He takes charge. He guards the team's best offensive player. The couple things that I've seen watching him scouting. Everybody I've have on this list. I've watched them. Even their weaknesses. That he can't guard smaller guards. He can't. Like
Okay.
he has good feet for someone. EJ Liddell is going to be one of those players who gives Giannis trouble, but he can't
Yeah.
stop a Kyrie
Drew.
or even lesser than that. Yeah, like a Drew Holiday or something like that. They can beat him. He has quick feet for a 4. One of the things they mentioned that he could be the 4 or 5 in small ball lineups. He's very good. He's a big body. He's 243 pounds, 6'7". He has an NBA body. He's ready for the NBA. He just seems like a for sure role player in this league, and he's very gritty. Gets on the ball. He gets on the floor. He's definitely somebody we need for this team. Next up, Jalen Williams, shooting guard from Santa Clara, 6'5", 7'2" wingspan. 7'2" wingspan.
Whoa.
6'5", 7'2".
Jesus.
Wingspan's taller than our center.
That sounds like Matisse.
Yeah.
6'5", 7-foot wingspan.
7'2". He got 2 inches on the teeth.
Wow.
What I have there, he was a star in pre-draft workouts. Watching the combine, I literally watched the combine because they said that he played in the game. The games that they had, he was the best player on the fucking floor. Hands down, was the best player on the floor. I don't know what that means because a lot of those guys are trying to prove themselves, and so maybe that adds more to it because they're trying to prove himself, and he really stood out. He has the defensive like god. He has the potential to be there. He has the potential to be Matisse. He's not Matisse. He's not. His defense isn't as loud. He keeps his guy in front of him. The 3 ball is way more better than advertised. Way more polished than advertised. The form is good. I think right now he's a better shooter than Matisse.
Okay.
He's a way better shooter than Matisse. And that's probably not saying that much, but he has the fit pieces. Shooting guard, 6'5". The physical things. Also 210 pounds. So he's got some weight on him.
Yeah.
Power forward. I like this guy. But I don't think he should be on this team. I like this guy as an option. Jake Lavaria. Jake Lavaria.
Gonzaga, right?
Yes. Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Wake Forest.
6'8",
6'9" wingspan. Not the most appetizing thing for analytic guys. Forward, very young. I think he's 19. I didn't write age on here. I think he's 19. He's
a little.
No, he's young. He's young.
Oh, okay.
He's a freshman. He's freshman. Did I write freshman? Oh, he's a junior. Oh God.
Yeah, he's older. I remember that because he how should I put this? He's one of those players that I'll put it to you this way. You remember Frank Kaminsky when he was coming out of college?
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like that, where like he's older and you can tell that he's had more experience and time in the college atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
And in like college systems. But
He's
when
20.
he got to the NBA, it kind of fizzled out. Same thing with like a lot of players like that, like Christian Laettner as well. Like, really great in the college system, carried a team to, very, very deep, very far. But when he got to the NBA, it was just like he was almost too stuck in his ways.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And Jake seems like a player who very much like knows how to use his size, but in the NBA, he for a power forward is undersized.
Yeah.
So
the thing that scares me much about drafting him, obviously he's a great shooter. Six
Yeah,
eight.
he is.
He has defensive potential, even though he's very slow footed. What scares me, he reminds me too much of George Niang than
Yeah.
something better.
I would say just from I have seen some Wake Forest games and I've seen some of Jake. He handles the ball better than
George,
George.
yeah.
Uh I would say his best option would be to move to the 3 when he
Mm,
comes to the NBA.
yes. Cause he's 227. I guess that's solid weight. Obviously, small ball is very effective in the NBA today. But I
Yeah.
think definitely he go down. He has the handle. He's not the best defender, but he has potential to do it. Like he's kind of like Tobias in his first year here, where like you
Yeah.
can see that he's not a great defender, but he tries. Like he
Right. But
legit tries.
I think if he was to move to the 3, he could be more of like a Bogdanovich type of player.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I see that. That's why I want more
But
of
if he
him.
stays at the 4, he's going to be an undersized 4 who can't really. The only way I see him at the 4 is if he's like a Draymond type of 4,
Mm,
where he is a lockdown defender, which I don't
which he's
know if
not.
he
I
can
don't think
do.
he's going to get there. I think he's going to be above average at best.
Yeah, and if he learns how to pass better,
He's a
because right now
solid,
he's a
solid.
solid
Yeah,
he's
solid
a
passer.
solid passer, but you could also sort of credit that to him just having so much experience.
Yeah. That's the thing. Bogdanovich was another comparison I was going to do.
Yeah,
George Niang is a great player. He fits our team, what we need, but we want something that could potentially be better.
yeah. And see,
Normally,
George has the advantage, if you can call it an advantage, even though he's technically an undersized
he
4.
got a big
He
body,
has the advantage of the weight. Yeah, so
big
he can
body.
hold his own. He can hold his own in the post defensively. Out on the perimeter defensively, he's not great.
Yeah, not at all, not at all.
Where,
He tries.
whereas
He tries. Another one of those guys
he
who
tries.
tries.
Whereas somebody like Jake, because he's not super quick and because he's a little bit on the slimmer side, he's not going to be particularly great at either end, like at either on either side, like on the perimeter defensively or down in the paint.
So this next guy I'm going to bring up has no fucking problem with that, and I don't think he's going to be available because he's such a prime position and he does it so well, and that's Tari Eason. Tari Eason,
Okay.
6'8", 7'2" wingspan, 217 pounds, NBA body. When I say this kid is Jimmy Butler,
Yeah, I don't see Tari being available.
I don't neither. And the next guy I have under him, I don't see available neither. But I see in mock drafts that he is dropping constantly. Tari
Yeah.
Eason, dude, long, athletic, could guard perimeter and interior. Very flashy. Gets out in transition. Jump shot is coming along. He shot 35% from 3 this year, which was better than his previous year. Um, he seems like he's the NBA player. Like I love EJ Liddell, but somebody like Tari Eason is somebody I would more so. I would if I had to pick one person over EJ Liddell, I would pick Tari Eason. If he's
Okay.
available, I think EJ Liddell is going to be more so there in the back end than
Yeah.
he is because he just looks so good. Another guy who I don't think is going to be here, but another guy who's I've seen fall kind of a little bit. I don't know whether it's because draft combine or just people in the combine showing that they're better or seem like better fits. I don't think this guy's going to be here at all, but I put him here because I saw him at 22 in a lot of mock drafts, and that's Nikola Jovic. Jovic. I don't think he's going to be there at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he's one of those guys. It's kind of like I'm trying to think of an example. He's one of those guys that everybody projects to go later, but he'll just jump up.
yeah, kind of like Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, we expected to go a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
farther. He went lottery, surprised a lot of people. I don't think he's going to surprise a lot of people going lottery if he does.
yeah.
I think he would surprise more people falling than going lottery. 6'11", 7-foot reach. What can I say?
Even Donovan Mitchell, honestly, because the
Yeah,
year Donovan Mitchell got drafted, I'm pretty sure we had 2 first-round picks, and we ended up trading both to Boston to move up.
mm-hmm.
But before we moved up, a lot of people had us like the mock drafts and projections had us taking Donovan Mitchell at the back end of that draft.
I remember us. Oh God, I'm so glad we didn't draft him. I remember us interviewing Chris Dunn because Sixers were
Yeah,
looking to trade up so they could have Ben at the 4 and then Chris Dunn run the point. People
Yeah.
forget that Chris Dunn was going crazy in summer league. He was going crazy.
He
Was going.
was.
He was going
He
crazy.
was.
First game,
Chris
I think, put
Dunn.
up 27.
Chris Dunn to me is another example of somebody who maybe wasn't drafted to the right
Yes, Timberwolves.
situation.
Oh my God, Timberwolves are. It's either they hit or they miss. It's no
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah. And even when they hit, sometimes it's not. It's not a
It
great.
doesn't
hit.
last.
It's like deep. It's like deep, but it's infield.
Yeah,
It's not a home run.
it's not
Like Cat is definitely a hit. He's not a miss.
Anthony
But
Edwards seems like a home run.
Anthony Edwards seems like a home run, but so far he's like their only one. Even Zach LaVine, you could argue that maybe Zach wouldn't become the Zach that he is if he remained in Minnesota, but even Zach LaVine has shown that he's not necessarily a home run.
Yeah, I think Zach LaVine. It's crazy that they spent after trading Zach LaVine and losing Jimmy, they started looking for players that were Zach LaVine. It's so crazy how that works sometimes. So I'm gonna go back into him. Would you see from? I would say I would compare him more to a Domantas Sabonis than I would a Jokic right now because Jokic is a superstar, but he has literally the same type of game where playmaking is very odd that they're from the same place, damn near same name. Yeah, same place, same name, play style similar. I'm gonna compare him more to Domantas Sabonis right now because comparing him to a two-time MVP, it's a little bit crazy, adding too much pressure to this guy. But if he falls, I think Sixers select him. I don't think you don't fucking think about it.
Now, where do you see Nikola? Where do you see his position? Because he's 6'11".
Power forward.
Okay, because he's 6'11", and I've seen different mocks have him listed differently. Power forward. I've seen shooting guard. Like
he has handle.
Yeah, he has handle. He has handle, and he has a shot. I honestly would rather have him at the 2 or the 3.
It's so wild that you can
because
we're in a positionless NBA and he can play anywhere he wants. Because he has that, I think he's going to. He's a better defender than Jokic is right now.
I see him a little bit as more of like a and please people don't come for me. I'm not comparing them. They're not the same player, but Luka. Where when Luka first came out, a lot of people were saying he's a point guard, but now seeing him in the playoffs, he definitely is better with the ball in his hands, but he's not necessarily a point guard. Like he's like when when Jalen Brunson or like Spencer Dinwiddie are on the floor with him, like he plays really well as just a scorer, not necessarily a facilitator. Sure. And I think Nikola Jovic kind of reminds me of that. Like if he's somebody who can just go in and just score, not necessarily as a certain position, because Luka scores from everywhere. And I think Nikola is kind of the same way. I don't really see him as being like a positional player, but at the same time, I feel like just labeling him as a power forward is a little bit limited because I do want him to be on the perimeter quite a bit as well and handling the ball quite a bit as well.
I will also compare it to the Bobo situation. What position is Bobo?
Exactly.
What position is he? Jaren Jackson. What position is Jaren Jackson? Like, what is he really? Because he has the size of a center, but he doesn't rebound well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I definitely think that if he's there, you draft him. You don't even think about it. You don't think about it. You draft him. He's a lottery talent. He could grow with Tyrese Maxey even after the Joel Harden experiment. I think if he's there, you draft him. You don't think about it. You just do it. That is
that's part of the reason why I'm reluctant to kind of make any significant trades regarding like Tobias or
you could draft
Joel
him and then trade him.
Yeah, like we can still do stuff with the picks that we do have, and we have other players. Like we still have Furkan, we still have Shake, we still have like they're not worth a whole
Danny
lot
under contract, $10 million.
Right, like they're not worth a whole lot, but at the same time,
when they add it together, it gets more.
I would be more willing to trade some of the picks that we do have, and some of those guys just to fill out the bench than I would be to try and shoot for another star. Because right now they're talking about Bradley Beal or like Zach LaVine. It's like I I don't
hate
want
that.
that. I don't want to do that. I don't feel like we have to do that.
We've done it too many times and seen it not work so many
Yeah,
times
exactly.
to the point
Exactly.
where you need to go, hey, this is not the way. Let's go somewhere. Let's build it a different way. Hopefully, Daryl
Exactly.
Morey sees the impact of having a bench. Look at Boston. Look at the
Right.
Warriors. The teams that have made it past us and that's
One,
beaten us have had better benches than us.
you know what's interesting? I think we're starting to see more and more the end of super teams
Hmm. It's so much parity. It's parity more.
because there was like, when LeBron first did it, it seemed like you couldn't make the finals unless you had 3 All-Stars.
Hmm.
But now we're starting to see more and more that that's not the case. The teams that are in the finals only really have 2. I would even argue that Boston really only has 1
I will argue.
superstar.
I will argue that the Golden State only has one too because Clay has not shown up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I,
Phoenix, only really 2 superstars. Dallas, only really 1 superstar. Miami, only really 1 superstar. So it's like we're starting to see more and more that just having a balanced, deep team is way more valuable than having a whole bunch of stars who can't fit together or can't stay healthy.
all right, I'm gonna say this last player, and then we're gonna talk about the NBA Finals, which we definitely did not talk about yet.
Right, right.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's TT Washington or Ty
Ty
Washington
Ty, Ty Ty.
out of Kentucky, 6'3". He reminds me so much of Tyrese Maxey, but he's a better playmaker.
Yeah,
He's a pass force, but like if I don't see that shit, I'm gonna get a bucket type
yeah,
player. And I think
yeah.
he fits. He has. Oh damn, I didn't write wingspan. But I think he had a 6'7" wingspan. I think if I remember correctly. He seems like a guy that could play with Tyrese Maxey, that could come off the bench, that could help us. We definitely need a point guard coming off the bench. That is something we definitely need because
Yep.
when we go to our bench, we are so fucking confused. Furkan
Yeah.
was our point guard for majority of the fucking year off the bench, and that cannot happen. Um,
Yeah,
and to what you said about moving, combining Danny Green and Furkan, that's $15 million right there.
exactly.
That's a pretty good player. I mean, maybe we package that Danny Furkan in 2 seconds for a Terrence Ross from Orlando, or you know what I'm saying, something like that. The money definitely works out because I think Terrence is only get paid 11 next year. Somebody like that
Mhm.
definitely benefits the Sixers because we need bench scoring and consistent bench scoring at that.
Yeah,
Because like we started the year off great. We started the year off great where I was like, dog, we have a bench. Because
we were so deep at that point that like Furkan almost barely played.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Furkan almost barely played. Having Matisse and Andre and George like available to come off the bench and Shake sometimes too.
Mm.
We really didn't even have to go super deep into like the rotation.
Yeah,
Whereas now you see like we didn't see Paul Reed in the beginning of the year
no, we
like
did
at
not.
all.
No, we did not.
Like
We
so,
saw more Charles Bassey in the beginning of the year than Paul Reed.
exactly, and even that wasn't much.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a lot of good.
That was
games.
pretty much that was actually almost just the games Joel didn't play.
Yeah, because when the beginning of the year when we was the first seed, in the East. People forget that we were the first seed in the East. Joel was like highly considered for MVP. Because Ben's situation first in the East. I think we started off 9-4, I believe it was. And then
because we started off the literal first couple games was bad,
and
then we went on like an 8-game winning streak.
I think it was a 6-game win streak. I think it was something like that.
6,
yeah.
6, then a loss, then 2.
Yeah, and then COVID hit us. First with Tobias, then with Joel, and we were still whooping. We were whooping teams' ass. Like we blew out Denver, we blew out Portland. This is before Portland knew that they were going to blow it up. CJ was still on the team. Norman was still on the team. Dame was playing shitty, but he was playing through injury. But we were blowing teams out. Like we were beating teams we were not supposed to be beating, and we were doing it pretty like convincingly.
Yeah.
And you seeing that, you go, damn, we finally got something. George Niang was going absolutely nuts.
Yep.
Furkan had a couple good games. Shake wasn't there in the beginning of the season because I think he was injured to start the season. Matisse looked good. Seth Curry was legit our star player. Like he looked like a fucking franchise player in certain games. Tyrese was doing great. So I think we just need just fill the bench with players that you know can help. Like that's why I really like a Corey Joseph. I really like that guy who's been there before. He's only 30, which is crazy to me. That he's only 30 years old, but he seems like he's been around. He was like one of the best backup point guards for a while. But he, in Detroit now, so he's not getting that much attention. Still shoots 40% from three. I think somebody like that who can help play make and also be a shooter is somebody. And for a team playing for a team that you could just trade a couple second round picks and you get him easily. He only making $5 million if he opts in. I think he is going to opt in to his contract next year. Somebody like that can really help you. Small pieces, fit pieces. And just build around your guys. Don't stop fucking tearing down your team to get stars. Yeah.
And I like Ty Washington. And I think I've said multiple times, maybe not on this podcast, but I like Kentucky guys. Like coming like I don't know what it is that Calipari is doing that
it's that Fernandez Noel. Kentucky guards.
Yeah, guards, not necessarily bigs. Kentucky's only produced like 3 great bigs.
Anthony
ever.
Davis, Bam Adebayo,
and
Cat, DeMarcus Cousins.
Cousins,
Enes Kanter played for Kentucky. Oh, he didn't play for Kentucky.
I wouldn't put Enes Kanter in that group.
He did. I mean, I'm just saying, like guys who were highly valued coming out of Kentucky. He didn't even play because I think he took money, so he didn't even play. But he still got drafted. So yeah, Kentucky guards though.
Yeah,
different.
I like the guards. Like I said, I don't know what Calipari is doing where like his teams somehow never win. But at the same time, once they get to the NBA, they're like, most of them are better than the Duke guys. Like, I don't know what it is of like if he's trying to implement like an NBA style training or system or whatever. But like Kentucky guards over the last couple of years, they've just come out ready.
So many. John Wall.
Tyrese,
Emmanuel
De'Aaron
Quickly,
Fox,
Rajon Rondo, like there's more. Fucking Devin Booker,
Jamal Murray.
Yeah, god damn.
Like, it just goes and goes and goes.
I don't know. They're all dynamic players.
I don't know what he's doing, but they're just ready.
Those guards are like, different.
Did we say Devin Booker?
Yeah, I said Devin Booker.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Devin
how did
Booker.
We miss that?
Like,
yeah,
that's insane. And we're missing some.
Even
so don't crucify us.
Even he's not like an all-star or anything, but Malik Monk.
Another one.
I think if you put Malik Monk on the right team, it's like the J.R. Smith situation.
You saw with the Lakers.
Like
before
J.R. or Iman got to Cleveland, they were just like guys who
extremely
people knew
athletic.
about who were athletic. Yeah, but it's like
put back dunks.
Yeah, but when J.R. got to Cleveland, like he was an integral piece.
Yeah, I mean,
on a finals team,
we saw that a lot. We saw more of the athletic prowess from Iman Shumpert. I think JR really showed himself when he was playing for New Orleans. I think he showed a lot.
But even Iman when he got to Cleveland, like people realized, oh, this guy's a defensive monster.
Right.
Like he's a monster.
Remember that game that JR forgot the to shoot? Obviously you can't forget that game. JR forgot to shoot.
In the finals.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember that, but Iman had a pretty good look to win the game.
Yep.
It was one of those, like, the ball got tipped out and he threw it up. It looked like it was going to go in.
Iman had a good look. That was just a clusterfuck all over. People obviously remember what JR did the most, but at the same time, it's like George Hill missed a free throw.
Yeah, George Hill missed 2. I think he missed. No, it was 1. He missed.
No,
one.
he missed the second one.
Yeah,
he missed the second
free throw. JR forgot how to play basketball.
Well, I think he thought that they were going to call timeout, which they probably should have.
They had another timeout, and I remember Bron going to the thing we had another timeout. He was fucking pissed.
Yeah,
he had 50 that game.
JR wasn't necessarily in the wrong. Like he could have just went back up because either way it's overtime. It's like either way, it's overtime. Whatever shot I put up is to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. I'm gonna just put up a shot. But at the same
it looked
time,
pretty good.
I can understand him saying, you know what? There's a 6'11" dude standing right here in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably just call timeout and get a good out of bounds play. Because again, whatever shot we put up is for game. Either way, it's overtime. So he's probably thinking like, if I hold the ball and just sit on it, we're not gonna lose the game.
Right.
We go to overtime. So we might as well try and get a good shot. So I can sort of see his thinking, but at the same time, it's like you got the ball at the rim and you're right there with Kevin Durant, who I can understand, like, yeah, he's 6'11", but at the same time, Kevin Durant's not a shot blocker. Like, and as athletic as you are, just jump up and try to shoot the ball.
In a situation like that, he knows you have to shoot. He knows you have to shoot. So you doing a pump fake, it will be very effective right there in that situation. Because
you had time.
You had some time. So a pump fake Kevin Durant would have got up. I'll tell you right now. In a situation, his first championship, his ass would have got up.
Yep.
So you know what I'm saying? But in those situations and those like bang bang plays, you don't think about things like that. Your mind is how quick I get this ball up with the time.
He's thinking like let's just get a timeout and regroup and get a good possession, get a good shot.
So
but at the same time, it's like, bro, you had the good shot. Like you had it.
So before we wrap up, because I just got a text. Before we wrap up, I think we should talk about the finals.
Yeah.
The thing that's going on.
A lot of people were kind of panicking after game one.
I wasn't
either. Because if you watch the game, Golden State was in control the entire game.
They had the big mental collapse, and a lot of people go, well, no, Golden State is known for this. They're known for doing some dumb shit.
Yeah. But it's still a 3-time championship winning team.
Yes. And
who has one of the best players in the world on it. Like, they're not going to do that again.
Golden State is one of the only teams I know that can go down, can be losing by 20, going into the fourth quarter and win by 15.
Yep.
And Jordan Poole showed his ass. Jordan Poole was terrible the first game. Klay Thompson has yet to be seen in this playoffs for real, and that should be terrifying for Boston.
Yeah. And Draymond said it after game one. He was like, their role players shot 15 for 23 from three.
Not going to happen again.
That's not
Al Horford's not going to go 6 for 8 again. He's not.
Yeah,
not
like that's just not going to happen again.
And Jordan Poole played Jordan Poole game. I think Boston should be terrified that Klay has not showed his head, because if this goes game 6, you know what game 6 Klay do. We all know what game 6 Klay comes through.
I hate to say it, but this Boston team reminds me a little bit of the Philly team in 2001, because Jason Tatum's in his 5th year. AI was in his 5th year, and they're going up against literally the best team in the league
of this generation.
And they won game 1, and I don't see them winning another game.
I think they could get one. I think they're going to split, but I think Golden State
in Boston.
Yeah, I think they're going to split Boston, but I think Golden State is going to win the next 2. Golden State just too fucking good, bro.
Yeah.
When fucking Otto Porter is hitting shots, and fucking Belitza you're getting quality minutes from him, you could afford to take Draymond out a little bit early because of his Draymond acting-ness. Draymond-ness. That team is so deadly.
And they're deep.
They're deep as fuck. They're deep as fuck.
They have everything. They have experience and they have youth.
I still say Golden State,
like finals experience and youth. Whereas Boston's their most experienced player who actually plays has never been to a finals before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy. Nobody on that team. Let me think. I don't think nobody on that team has been to the finals. If I'm looking down the list,
not even the coach.
No. This is first year coaching. It seems like it's always a first year coach in the finals.
Was it last year?
Last year, I think, was the first one.
No.
Last year was Miami. No, Monty Williams never went to the finals.
As a head coach, no.
As a head coach, never been to the finals.
But he had been a head coach before. Monty Williams coached the Lakers.
No, I'm saying like as a first timer.
The Hornets, I'm sorry.
I mean like a first timer going to the finals.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's always one
No,
first timer.
that was his second year. That was his second year. His first year was the bubble year.
They didn't go to the finals.
No, I'm saying it was his first. No, this is the. I thought we were talking about first year head coaches in the finals.
I'm saying like the first time getting to the finals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, first time. Like no, obviously Monty Williams has won Coach of the Year before, I think. He won it last year, but I mean, like, I thought he won it before. There's a lot of first time coaches. Before that, Frank Vogel was the first time getting to the finals. He was obviously a coach with the Pacers. He had a good run. The year before that,
Budenholzer.
Yeah, Budenholzer.
No, actually, Budenholzer was last year. Budenholzer and Monty.
Yeah. So there's a lot
and the year before that was Frank Vogel.
Yeah. Who was the year before that? Lakers.
Lakers didn't make.
The year before that too. Toronto. Nick Nurse. So it's always a first. It seems like it's always a first for someone. So fire Doc Rivers so we can have a first time coach like that. That's the plan. That's the plan. Just keep firing coaches until we get one. We're gonna get one. We just gotta keep firing coaches.
You know what I hate about the NBA is the way that they recycle coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
It's hard for a coach to get.
You don't really see it that much in the NFL.
Yeah,
like you see college coaches moving up. You see assistants, offensive coordinators getting head coaching jobs all the time. You don't see as many first-time head coaches in the NBA. You see a lot of guys who are just going from one team to another.
Yeah, or they would take a back seat for a little while and then they would be
exactly.
Yeah,
D'Antoni.
Kind of like D'Antoni. Yeah, he's taking the back seat, but somebody was then. Kenny
Doc
Atkinson
Rivers,
is a finalist for the
Frank Vogel, Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah.
Who else? What's his name? Used to coach the Mavericks. Now he coaches the Pacers.
Rick Carlisle.
Mm-hmm. The Stan Van Gundy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got multiple chances. I don't know why, but he got multiple.
Exactly.
Chances.
Exactly.
Mark Jackson can't get a call though.
No, he can't.
I mean, I think he got some interest from the Kings job, but you know.
And what's his name? Because you got me thinking about black head coaches now. Not Lloyd Pierce. Lloyd Pierce is gone now. Nate McMillan. Used to coach the Pacers. Now he's in Atlanta.
He did a great job that run, but obviously Atlanta has more problems than they did last year.
I mean, Nate McMillan's a good coach.
Yes.
Like he turned the Pacers around too.
Mm-hmm. He did.
When he got there.
He did.
I don't know. I mean, I think there are some coaches that don't get enough chances, and then there are some coaches that get too many.
Mm-hmm.
Like Stan Van Gundy went to one finals.
Yeah.
And he's had
recently
a million jobs since
2 years ago. He should not be a coach. He's not a coach in this era. He's just not. He's just not.
I would say the same thing about Doc.
Yeah.
Like Doc's like we said, he's a motivator. He's a guy who can get people to listen to him and
He'd
rally
be a great
behind
assistant
him,
coach.
But he's not a
assistant
an
coach.
X's and O's guy.
That's a very much assistant coach qualities.
Yep.
Doc is well respected as he should be. Won the Coach of the Year, I think his first year in the league.
But the best coaches always have both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's not too many guys who you could think of, but the best coaches have both. And that's why, honestly, when I saw that list that they put up, the top, 5 or 6 coaches of all time,
15.
And Doc was on it.
Yeah, top 15.
Yeah, and Doc was on it. I was like, I don't know about that. Because they had some guy, had Pat Riley.
Mm-hmm.
They had
Pop.
Of course, Phil Jackson and Pop.
Spo.
Spo.
People that deserve to be there.
Steve Kerr.
Without a doubt, deserve to be there.
Like what Steve Kerr did for that offense when he came in, like they were running plays I had never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
That elevator doors play, I don't know if you ever seen it, where they have two guys. They would have, I believe at the time it was not Bogut. Or yeah, it might have been Bogut. And what was his name? He played at UCLA. You know who I'm talking about? White guy.
UCLA?
Yeah.
Wait,
I cannot remember his name.
Center?
Power forward.
Ooh.
And he could shoot. Yeah, I cannot remember his name.
I'm trying to
But
think.
he was pretty good though. He definitely had his best years on Golden State though. But they would have two bigs. They would have two bigs at both elbows, like on both ends of the free throw line, and they would have Steph cut down to the baseline and then come back up between them. And as his defender is following them, the two bigs would literally just sidestep into each other and close it off behind. So Steph would run between them, and then they would close off, and then Steph would get an open shot at the top of the key.
Are you talking about Kevin Looney?
No, not he's white.
Oh no, okay, well that's not.
I'm about to look him up. But they called it the elevator doors play, and I thought it was like hilarious, and it was so genius. And I was like, I've never seen anything. I've never seen anything like this before.
I'm trying to think.
I'm about to look him up.
Another play they have is like this backdoor play, and it normally is for Clay, and they would have them under the rim. They would literally have under the rim. They would have two screeners. So the play, so the other
David Lee. I just remember David Lee.
David Lee. Okay.
Yeah.
So the play is literally there's four guys literally under the rim. Draymond's normally being the inbounder. They would have Steph run, have a screen. It would be Clay also as a screener. It would be three screeners. Steph comes off, runs, get the attention. Normally the screens are set so good. This was Bogut and somebody else. I think Zaza. Zaza was one of them.
Yeah.
And they would have it, and Zaza's strong ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Also a cheater. But he would run off, and they would have to overcommit. So somebody would have to overcommit, and Clay would be wide the fuck open in the corner.
Yep.
And I'm just like, how do you lose sight of that? And it's so crazy. My finals prediction still reigns true. I think Golden State is 6. I still think Boston, they will split. But I think Golden State is going to be the NBA champion.
Yeah, I think so too.
NBA champion.
I think so too.
Four-time champion, Steph Curry. I feel like that's going to be a thing. One away from Kobe.
And his first Finals MVP, which should be his second.
Andre Iguodala winning Finals MVP when LeBron averaged 35 that series is fucking ridiculous, bro.
It's ridiculous.
It's
crazy.
Ridiculous, bro.
It's crazy.
Because Bron shot under 40%, but LeBron was the only fucking player sometimes. Like,
you know what? And I just realized David Lee didn't play for UCLA. He played for Florida. That's probably why you didn't guess him.
Because like
you're right. You're right. Kevon Looney played for UCLA.
Yeah, that's what I was like thinking. I was thinking of the jersey. Like normally I could picture like Kevin Loves, the Russell Westbrooks, the Lonzo Balls. I could picture them in the jerseys.
I think I always naturally associate Golden State Warriors players with UCLA just because of the colors.
Okay, yeah. Their colors are the same.
I think that's what always fucks me up.
Yeah. Who else played for UCLA? Fucking did
Westbrook.
Otto Porter? I said Westbrook. Westbrook, Kevin Love. All those things.
Zach LaVine.
Did Luol Deng play for UCLA?
No.
He didn't?
No, I think he played for USC.
Maybe. Did he?
I think so. Let me see here.
I swear I could see him in that jersey.
No, actually, I don't think he played. Did he play college basketball in the US?
I think he did.
Duke. Whoa.
Played for Duke. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Makes sense now. Makes sense because when he got to Cleveland, he was playing with Kyrie, and Kyrie, Kyrie were both from Duke. I remember.
Yeah.
Because it was like a trade that wasn't a trade. You know, he just now. Speaking of Luol Deng, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Luol Deng just got paid for last season. That last year was his final year of getting paid from that 2016 contract.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Talk about securing the fucking bag.
Right.
Dude, securing the bag. I think his last check was like $5 million.
Isn't Joakim Noah still getting paid?
Get paid by the Knicks, yep. Still getting paid by the Knicks. We're still paying Kyle Quinn and
and Mike Scott.
Mike Scott, yeah.
And
Brett Brown. We're still paying Brett Brown because we terminated his contract. Yeah. That's it.
Crazy.
That's all.
All right. Well, that will wrap it up for this week, folks. Make sure to join us. Well, we'll be June when it happens. I meant to say join us.
That's the new promo.
Join us next week for another episode of the Untitled Sports podcast. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to follow me and Marquise on our social media platforms, which I'm sure Marquise will link somewhere.
Yes.
For you to find.
Also, shout out to us. 21 days into this, 63 downloads. We appreciate y'all. We got fans that listen to us in Barcelona, Moscow, Russia, Spain,
Barcelona, bonjour.
Bonjour. We really appreciate y'all for showing the constant support. There's somewhere else. I'm forgetting. Why am I forgetting this? I want to shout this out because I thought it was so crazy that someone. I have it. I literally had wrote it down because I thought it was so freaking crazy. There we go.
China.
No, it's not China. It's not China. Oh, it was Belgium.
Oh,
Belgium is our second most, other than Philly, where we live. Belgium is our second most downloaded place.
Okay.
So worldwide.
Nice.
Worldwide.
We love your waffles.
We love your fucking waffles, man.
They're amazing. Waffles. They are amazing. The Dutch did start the slave trade, though. Wait, are Belgian people Dutch? No. What's Holland? No, the Netherlands. The Netherlands. They're the Dutch people. That's right. Belgians are cool. We love your waffles.
We love your waffles, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. They're amazing. I need a Belgian waffle maker. We're off topic.
You're off
topic.
Anyway.
Bye, guys.
Bye.